Hey guys, JH, welcome to Practice Tee. Okay, today, something that I think probably is the most important aspect of having a golf swing that will hit the ball consistently. And I remember I met Sam Snead, I met him when he came to Australia a long time ago for an exhibition at the Lakes Golf Club, but didn't talk to him very much then, just basically said a few words to him. But I met him later on in the early 90s in the US and actually had a bite to eat with him. And I just said, Sam, look, you've got the best golf swing of all time, the best tempo, and you hit the ball amazingly consistent for your whole golfing career. Nothing ever changed. And Peter Thompson said that, in his opinion, you were a better ball striker than Ben Hogan. And Sam said, well, Ben was a great player, and he certainly was a great manoeuvrer of the golf ball. There's no question of that. He said, but actual strike on the ball, he said, I think both myself and Byron Nelson were equally as good in terms of ball strikers. And we found the centre of the club most of the time. And I said, well, why? Okay, you had the beautiful tempo, you had all types of things, but what really made you a great ball striker, do you think? And he said, well, what I believe was my secret was that I always tried to maintain my shape when I hit the ball. Wherever this position here was with the buttocks and the legs, I basically wanted to feel that they were there when I hit the ball. That this part of the body, and he called it the forward hips, which okay, that was his terminology, but he said his forward hips never came forward in the downswing. In his mind, he felt they went that way. And I said, Sam, would that be a reason that you had the bow-legged look about you in the downswing, and that you went from there to there? And he said, absolutely. He said, and he stood up, and he was eating hot dogs. I mean, he had about 3 hot dogs in a row. You've never seen anything like it. They were huge. And that's a digression, but he stood up and he said, watch what happens. He said, if I swing to the top of the swing here, and I actually get the feeling that my forward hips are going that way, my legs get that look about them. They have to get that look about them because I'm doing that. So the terminology at that time in teaching circles was that was called early extension. I mean, it's a silly terminology. I mean, early extension of what? But they're talking about, that being early extension in the downswing. Now, Sam didn't have that, and neither did Hogan, and neither did Nelson. All the great ball strikers, nobody has had that in their downswing. If anything, they've had a feeling of that. Now, Mo Norman did it better than anybody. Now, we see in Mo Norman's downswing that Mo actually looks like that. Mo is going this way. He's got his right buttock back and he's pushing it here, and he is actually moving away from the ball. He's counterbalancing, the arms moving in, so he's keeping his shape beautifully. But he started out like that, guys, bear in mind. But he just increased that. And that shape maintained itself, and those the buttocks went that way. And I said to Sam, but Sam, we wouldn't have this feeling in the downswing, would we? We wouldn't have it going like just back like that. because you could never clear. You'd stall up the hips. He said, no, what I felt in the downswing was that I went backwards, but this hip was moving that way. It was going like that. The right hip was moving forward, and it was doing that. It was basically, and if you look at this, guys, if I get to the top of the swing here, and I get into that, and I move my lead buttock this way, that's what I look like. Look here. Now I can feel all that weight going that way. Feel it all going this way, and we don't get that pelvic thrust that creates problems. And I've had the problem myself plenty of times. Invariably, when my ball striking goes off, it's because I'm doing that instead of maintaining that. What I feel myself is that both buttocks go that way. They don't, because I'd never clear and I would stall up, but they feel like they're going that way. That's what I feel like. Now that's the way of staying in the shot. And why do I think that's the most important general aspect of a golf swing? Because it's the only way that you can swing your arms freely and have them in balance and have your shoulders tilting the right way you need them in the downswing. If you're coming from the top of the swing and you move the pelvis forward like that, the shoulders kick up, this one drops back, you get that position there and you can't fire it. All this stalls up. But if I get to here and I move that way, okay, I'm actually moving away. I feel like that, guys. That's what I feel like. Don't look like that, but I feel like that. And invariably when my golf swing goes off, and the reason for this video is that it did go off on Friday. I mean, I just couldn't get, I've been doing a lot of different exercises in the gym and I'd activated a lot of different muscles and I was really getting that early extension. Well, I just call it coming out of my shape. That's all it was. So the message is, guys, that we basically want to take the swing to here. On the downswing, we want to feel like we're moving this way. However you do it, you might do it with both buttocks moving that way. You might feel it with the trail buttock moving that way early, and then it gives up, and then the lead buttock rotates but goes that way and gets off the line that way. It never moves that way. Just depends on how you want to do it. I have a bit of success when I feel that my trail buttock moves that way. I can get here, but what I don't want to do is get here and just jam up the clearance of the hip. I don't want to do that. So there's a lot of different ways, but the basic message, guys, and Tom Watson always said that the secret of his ball striking was staying in his shape. Johnny Miller, absolutely Johnny Miller. And Sam Snead said to me, he said Johnny Miller was the best. When Johnny Miller was playing, he was the best at staying in his shape, and that's why he was so straight. And so was Byron Nelson. And they really stayed in their shape. Now it's elementary, guys, and it's not easy to do. And it stems from your setup posture, I guess. If you look at Adam Scott, Adam's the best in the world, I think, with his general swing mechanics and dynamics and posture. I mean, this is Adam. He's a big, tall, fit guy, but he sticks the butt out very straight, lower back here, got the heels loaded, and he just basically maintains that on the downswing guy. He goes from here and he just maintains that. Here, and then just clears it. But the clearance is always that way. It's not forward. Well, it is lateral, but it's lateral that way, radially. if you can understand that. It's not sort of a jammy type lateral forward and then rotate off the line, because you'll take this line forward. You never ever want to take that line forward. What we've got to do, the essence of it is, whatever the shape is here, we want to maintain it as we hit it. I want to maintain that there. So guys, that's the basic explanation. I'll come back on video 2 and I'll just set the camera up a bit differently, and we'll actually hit some shots. I'll set it up so that maybe I can hit a few shots that way as well, and you can see it.